Hello, everybody. Scott Golden with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube and Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channels. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, mental health, emotional health paradigm. Nope, this is the Pro Wrestling Logic side, where we discuss pro wrestling of a wide variety of topics. This is a highlight show, so we'll go through it really quickly, as everything that's on this show has been covered on the TNT review series thus far. Highlights of Vince McMahon at the farm with the Hillbillies earlier in the year. Also, basically, Vince just hanging out with the little piglets and other such things. Then we go to the saloon with Terry Funk. Terry Funk playing cards and trying to literally shoot on Vince McMahon, as it were, and get things under his control. Terry Funk, of course, doing the wild Texas Cowboy thing, even spitting tobacco juice at the camera at one point. Then we go into the the brawl that ensues at the poker game, as nobody really wants to play nicely with each other. Hype for the Slammy Awards out next, and then we go back to a child confronting Bobby Heenan with a furry weasel. Heenan is hilarious. If you haven't seen that particular segment, worth going out of your way to see, because Bobby Heenan interacting with anyone is great. Heenan, a major force on TNT and in the WWF throughout 84, 85, really during his entire run. Then we go to highlights of the Moondogs trying to learn manners. Fuji beating a Moondog up in the process and trying to get him to be controlled. Moondog's gone by early 86. There is basically a series of ladies in bikinis. Certainly a very different time in the 80s, and different as far as what's considered attractive clothing, among other things. Highlights of Don Morocco getting a rub down and a massage in the best of ways. Morocco, probably one of the guys that has the biggest fall off in 85, to go from being a former Intercontinental Champion 2 years earlier to the idea of Fuji Vice, Fuji Bandito being a thing there. Then we see cooking with Lou Albano, a major force, as it were, and ultimately kind of trying to get things going in his direction there. Just trying to get extra attention, as it were. Jesse Ventura wearing a feathered boa and talking about his dissatisfaction with how much he is taken for granted in the area. Also, a confrontation between Ventura and Vince McMahon, which, knowing how much trouble they have over the next several years, just an interesting thing there. Then we see various mock-ups of singers who claim to be affiliated with Rhodes. Then we go to Adrian Adonis, actually going into King Kong Bundy wearing a toupee, which is not something I actively remember. Fuji General and Fuji Bandito and Fuji Vice are all highlighted. Basically just a year-end show to fill a contractual obligation. Also worth checking out the attempt to shock George the Animal Steel with Dr. Sigmund Ziff into some level of proper behavior, for lack of a better term. That's a pretty big thing. Then we see Lord Alfred Hayes being confronted, among other things, by various people that are not a fan of his. And we close on that note. And we'll be back with more right after this.